Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and today it is the start of another 24-hour readathon. Yes, to celebrate the spooky season, I am going to be spending the next 24 hours exclusively reading horror books. And this is a 24-hour readathon, so the idea here is to read as much as it is physically possible for me to do in the next 24 hours. I have done one of these in the past. You can find it here. And I learned a lot from that experience. And I I remember really struggling on the second day because the way I do my 24-hour readathons is I start at 2 p.m. on one day and I will end at 2 p.m. on the next day. I will try to stay up the whole night, but I don't think it's going to happen, so just we allow for that. I do remember day 2 was a struggle, but we learned and we're going to get better. The name of this game is variety and giving myself choice and options. So I've decided to add an element of this that's going to spice things up and help me to stay focused and energized and all that good stuff. I have these 2 wine glasses that I got from a wine tasting, and within these 2 glasses I have activity prompts and page number reading prompts. Every hour I get to pull an activity prompt from my little jar here, and then I will also pull a number prompt that tells me how many pages I have to read before I can do that activity. I'm also building myself in an option for a skip and a swap. I'm going to have 2 skips and 3 swaps, but the way that this is going to work is that for the skip, if I want to skip an activity, say because either the timing is not right or I just don't want to do that thing right then, I have to read 30 pages in order to skip it. If I want to swap a prompt, I will have to read 15 pages before I pull again, and then the first one that I pulled is going to be on the board for next time, so that next time I want to swap, I don't get to pull again. I have to either do the one that I pulled or do the one that I didn't do last time. So eventually I'll just have a bunch of options to swap from. I can't pull again. So hopefully by adding this fun little element, it'll keep me on my toes and just keep me getting through these books. For this readathon, I'm reading all 2024 horror releases. So I have 3 of those options here. The first one being WOODWORM by Layla Martinez. This is a short little haunted house story. It primarily focuses around a mother and a daughter who are trapped inside this house. And it is a translated work. So exciting. I'm excited to get to that. Next up, I have Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. This is actually following a child who is being possessed, I think, by some sort of demon or spirit, or she can see it or something. Don't know. I'm just hoping this is really, really, really scary. And I'll have to think about the order that I want to read these in, but I'm kind of thinking like, should I read this at night? It would be good because if it is really scary, I will not want to go to bed until I read it. So could be good for the nighttime. And lastly, I have Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. This is about, he's either a writer or an actor, can't remember which one, but they have killed off his character. The higher ups have decided that his characters are going to be killed. And I think this is a revenge story, or like, I've also heard that there's monsters, so I don't really know, but I have heard just amazing things about this. Everyone who reads this says it's going to be amazing. So I hope that it's going to be like a fun, wild ride, and it'll make me just like want to keep reading, and just very, very invigorating, very exciting stuff. And I'm really, really, really hoping I love this. I'm so excited to get to this. So these are the 3 that like I would love to complete while on this 24-hour readathon. These are my main priorities. But I'm also participating in TBR Harvest, hosted by Leandra, the TBR Zero. I will link all her details down below. It's a month-long readathon happening in October, and I am playing the Escape the Corn Maze board right now, and the one that I landed on was a book with a cat on the cover, and I looked throughout my entire physical TBR, and the only book that had a cat on the cover was this little thing I found in a free little library. It says, "Quiet moments and a cup of tea, charming stories to grace your day." And there is a little cat on the front of it. So this is not a horror book, but it is something that I need to complete in order to fulfill my prompt sheet. And the good news is it's really short, like really, really short. And they are short stories. So I can definitely, you know, in between sessions or maybe at the start of the hour or something, read a little bit of this. And it's good to have something small so I can complete my prompt sheet and also complete some prompts that are in my little jars here. So this is kind of the one outlier, but it is for a reason. It's not just a random choice. And then finally, I do have a couple books on audio. They are short horror, so horror novellas. And the reason that I have to pick some audiobooks is because I do have some activity prompts that involve me getting up and moving. And in those cases, I will be listening on audio. I haven't decided which one I'm going to pick up first, but I have Nothing But Blackened Teeth or Goddess of Filth. So not sure which one I'm going to pick up, but I do have those two options on audio. And if we get through all of that, which I don't know if I will or not, I am also reading Slewfoot again for TBR Harvest, and I have already started this, but I don't anticipate getting to very much of this in this readathon. These three are definitely my primary goals, and this is what we're going to focus on for this readathon. All right, it is very near to start time. I'm going to have my lunch and just get ready to go, get geared up, get some caffeine, and then at 2 p.m. we will start reading. Okay, it is very, very nearly 2 p.m. We are about to start. I have my water, essential, of course, and a Diet Coke. My lovely husband went to Chipotle and got me lunch. He's very supportive of my journey for this next 24 hours. I have drank a lot of caffeine today already, but we're gonna go as hard as we can. The first book that I'm going to be starting with is WOODWORM because it's only 150 pages, and I think it will be very satisfying, very rewarding to finish a book quickly, like within the first couple hours. So this is where I'm starting. I am just about to post on my Instagram to get this thing started, and then we will go. Okay, it is 4:15 p.m. What time is it? 4:20. I was gonna stop every hour, but I just took a little break, but I just powered through for 2 hours. WOODWORM, I am on page like 92 out of 150. So that checks out, just about 50 pages an hour. I am really enjoying this. It's weird though. It's definitely weird. It's not scary. It's definitely not a horror book. But I am enjoying it. It feels very literary. It almost kind of reminds me of like a Shirley Jackson book where it's like, it's not scary, but it's very like character driven. And in this one, the haunting is very like metaphorical, I guess. But there is also real haunting, but like it's not scary. I am enjoying it. It's a lot about, so I said it was a mother and a daughter. It's actually a grandmother and a granddaughter who are in this house, and they're sort of trapped again, metaphorically, in this haunted house. And it's a lot about generational trauma and a lot of, they're trapped by the cycles of abuse. They're trapped by generations of violence against women. They're trapped by poverty, things like that. It's very, very literary in that sense. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really like the use of like the house and the hauntings and like the magical elements of it. It's all very kind of like, it's not a fantasy book, but there are just these mentions in there of it, and I'm enjoying that a lot. It does kind of feel sort of magical realism-ish, but it doesn't go too far. Yeah, it's interesting. If you're looking for a horror book, it's not that, but I'm interested in what's going on here. And Layla Martinez, I've never read a book from her, but I'm definitely interested in what she's got going on here. So now we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to pull an activity prompt. I think that might be fun because we have already crossed over the 2 hour mark. and I need to update my Instagram with my progress. So let's pull an activity prompt right now. Okay, I have my prompt jars here. So one is going to tell me the activity and the other one is going to tell me how many pages I have to read before I can do that activity. So let's see if I have these in the right. I think this one is the activities. Let's find out. It's hard for me to, well, okay, I'll just pull one right off the top. Okay. Oh, take a short walk. Okay, a short walk. So in my mind, a short walk would be 15 to 30 minutes. Take a short walk. Okay, I can do that. That means I'll also get to start an audiobook. So exciting news. Good. And now pull for how many pages I have to read before I get to go on my short walk. And it's kind of good that I got this one right now because it's 4:30, which means like it's a good time. It's a good time for a walk, a short walk. Okay. How many pages? Read 8 pages. 8 pages. That's great. That is, well, I mean, actually I could have done with a few more pages. So I have, it's kind of like deal or no deal, you know, where once a number is off the board, like you can't pull it again. 8 pages is one of my lower ones. So I kind of wish I would have pulled a higher number right now while I'm still feeling pretty fresh because I'll need my lower numbers for later, but it is what it is. I pulled 8 pages. So I'm going to read 8 more pages of Woodworm and then I am going to go on a short walk. Out on my short walk. I did put an audiobook in. I decided to listen to Goddess of Filth by B. Castro because I just remembered that it is Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th and I have not read a book for that yet. So that is what I'm listening to on my walk. It feels great to get outside, but I'm still contributing to my readathon. Okay, it is 6 p.m. and I have finished my first book. I finished Woodworm and I really liked it. Like I said earlier, it's not scary, it's not a horror book, but there are things that are horrific that happen in here. But it really is just, it's a literary, it's like, it kind of almost reminds me of like a fable, I don't know, maybe not a fable, but it kind of reminds me of like folklore, but it's also very much set in the present day. And it's really just the story of this family and the history of the hardship that has like come to them, specifically the women in the family. And I think that like I could reread this a bunch of times and like analyze, like there's so much in here, and the fact that I'm reading this all in one sitting, kind of rushing through it, is probably doing a little bit of a disservice to this book. I'm not gonna lie. My brain is definitely not in a place to be able to analyze this to the like highest degree, but I really liked it and I'm absolutely gonna keep it in my library and probably read it again one day because there's like just so much in here. And then I thought it was really crazy because in the acknowledgments it says, "To my maternal grandmother for letting me tell the story of her house and her family." Which is crazy because like I'm not saying that this is like a true story. I don't think she's saying it's a true story, but like some crazy stuff happens in here. So I really liked it. If you're looking for a scary book, this is not going to be it. But if you're looking for a story about generational trauma, specifically the story of generations of women, and kind of, you know, cycles of poverty and discussions of wealth and things like that, I think this is a great short read. I was really impressed with this and I'm glad that I got to it. Yay! So I don't know what I'm going to read next. I think like I do want to read this little tiny one just so that I can go ahead and do my next roll for TBR Harvest, which would be really fun. But I don't know if I should do Incidents Around the House or Bury Your Gaze next. I feel like I have to start Incidents Around the House just to make sure I actually get through it. So that is probably what I'm going to do, but I am going to read this little one first. But should I pull something from the activity jar right now? I think I will, because it's already 6 p.m. and we've only pulled one, so I think I will pull another. Okay, let's draw. Okay, which one is my activities and which one is my number? I actually don't know. Let's, I don't know. Okay, I think these are the activities. Just spilled them all everywhere. Okay, this one. Bake a Halloween treat. Yay! That's exciting. That is exciting. I have just the treat that I got, especially for this occasion. I am very happy to bake a Halloween treat. And now we figure out how many pages I have to read before I get to do that. How many pages of this book, which is honestly so ridiculous that I am reading this at all. But it's for TBR Harvest because it's the only book I have. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. See, now these are like way too small. Okay. Finish your book. Okay. I have to finish this book before I can bake my treat, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. This is a very short book. Okay, it is 6:45. I have completed Quiet Moments and a Cup of Tea. This is so ridiculous why I even have this and the fact that I even had to read this, but it was for TBR Harvest and it was good to get that out of the way. I just filmed my TBR Harvest section having completed this and going on to my next role. This is going straight to Free Little Library. I'm done with that. Let's get back to the horror, right, of this vlog. We are going to be reading Incidents Around the House. I almost said Incidents in the Nighttime. What was that? Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. I just recently read my first Josh Malerman, which was A House at the Bottom of the Lake. I won't lie, I did not really enjoy it, but that one was kind of YA, and I don't know. I've heard this is scary. I've heard that it is genuinely spooky, and I hope it is. I hope it is. I'm really looking for something to actually scare me because, I mean, Woodworm was not scary at all, so I'm looking for something that is actually horror. So this is what we're going with next. It's also pretty long, but a lot of blank space on the page. So yeah, I do think this is going to take me through the night though, and that's pretty much exactly what we want. I am going to start this, but first I have to bake that Halloween treat because I finished my book, if you can even call this a book. It's barely even a book. It's not a real book. Kind of feel bad about that, but you know what? It is a book with pages and words. The Halloween treat that I got specifically for this occasion is, of course, the Pillsbury pumpkin sugar cookies, because obviously the main thing being that they don't actually require any work from me, so I can put them in the oven and just get to reading and like not have to worry about actually baking them. And secondly, just they're very good. So that is going to be my Halloween treat. George has actually been reading with me. He's been participating in the readathon for the past, how many hours? What hour are we on? Like 4 or something? And you finished a book. You finished this book?
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Are you going to start reading another one?
I need to roll first. No.
Oh, okay. No, you're done?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well 4 hours. That was pretty good. Candles are lit. I have a new ambiance, Halloween themed. And I have restocked on my water. I've already drank a whole one of these. I'm really happy about that. And then I decided to go for a Celsius, which seems a little bit crazy, but we're going for it. And now to start Incidents Around the House. I got my little Halloween treats. They look, I don't know, they look a little odd. I'm 30 pages into this now. Am I concerned at this point that this is going to be so scary I won't be able to sleep tonight? Maybe a little bit. It really depends. I feel like actually like the first like 20 pages were very spooky and then it's kind of lightened up a little bit, but obviously we got a long way to go, so we'll see. Enjoying it so far. Time to pull some more prompts because I did make my Halloween treat. So activity jar time. All right, let's see here. Oh, what do I want to pull? It's so hard. It's so hard with them. I'm gonna just have to go like this. Okay. Take a long walk. Okay. Well, as it is dark and it's 8:45, I am going to have to swap this out, which means that I'm going to have to read 15 pages of my book in order to swap out the prompt. So I guess I didn't really think this through, but yes, I'm gonna pull it anyway right now, but I have to read an additional 15 pages before I do anything else. I'm gonna put this off to the side. This will be a future one I could swap with. Haven't had a swap yet so far, so okay. Let's see here. Do a spooky yoga. Oh my gosh. I am not gonna lie. I do not want to do a yoga right now. But I can't swap again. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna do this. I really don't want to, but I guess I will do it. Let's see how many pages I have to read before I do a spooky yoga. So whatever number I get, I'll have to also add 15 pages. Read 12 pages. Okay, again, not a large number. The numbers that we have pulled have just been very, very small. So that means that all of the hard stuff is going to be either later tonight or tomorrow, which is not great for me, but that is what we are doing. It's 9:30. I read 40 more pages because I had to read the 30 pages. But I just wanted to round it up to 9:30, and then I'm going to start on my spooky yoga. And in case you are wondering what a spooky yoga is, let me show you. Yoga with Adrienne has a whole playlist called Halloween themed yoga, and she does one every year. And I'm just gonna do this little 15-minute practice yoga for zombies. 15 minutes, not gonna be too difficult. It'll be good to get my blood moving. But let me tell you, incidents around the house kind of has my heart pumping right now. So maybe it's good to bring it down actually with a little bit of yoga. Okay, it's 9:54. I just got done with my little yoga session and I broke a sweat, even though it was just 15 minutes. I said earlier that I was like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I actually like feel way amazing after doing that. Only 15 minutes and I feel energized. Yoga with Adrienne, she can never do me wrong. And this is a pro tip for anybody doing a 24-hour readathon. Just do little 15-minute yoga sessions. It makes you feel so good. I'm like energized, ready to keep going. Good job, past me, for putting that in the activity jar. I'm very happy with that. And now I'm wondering if I should draw again right now, or like, because I'm like, it's 10 p.m. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get through all these activities by the time the readathon is over if I don't keep pulling them. So I don't know. Let me figure out what I need to do. I just rinsed my face off. Now my hair is looking crazy. I am gonna pull another prompt because one of these prompts is about going to get an energy drink. And I'm like, could I pull that right now? I would love to. Okay, I'm really mixing up which jar is which at this point. Okay, this is the activity jar. Okay, here we go. And also, I know I'm gonna have to read some pages because I like have to pull the page count. So, like, we're gonna be reading anyway, you know? Might as well pull a prompt. Oh, that just says read 25 pages. That was not the activity jar. Okay, read 25 pages before what? Okay, this is the activity jar. I must be losing it. George, this says find a fall leaf. He put some surprises in here for me. I think I'm gonna have to skip this one because it is nighttime right now.
You can find a fall leaf.
He wants me to go outside and find a fall leaf right now. It's 10 p.m. Okay. He doesn't want me to skip this. Also, if I skip this, I would have to read 50 pages. And I already have to read 25 pages. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I'm gonna read 25 pages and then go outside and find a fall leaf. I read my pages and now we're outside. George is making me find a fall leaf. There's not enough trees for a fall leaf.
There's plenty of trees. What do you mean?
These trees are green. I find it is cool enough for me to wear my sweatshirt, which makes me very happy about that. Looking for a fall leaf. I think we might have spotted a fall tree. Oh, the moon. Oh, look at those fall colors. Okay, yes. I think this is so crazy. Are these fall enough? He wants me to find one on the ground.
Ooh, what about that little red one?
This one. That is a good one. Nice. Spotted fall leaf. I was successful in finding a fall leaf. Actually, I think like George found this, but all right, we accomplished that. George has made a lovely soup that I'm going to eat for dinner. It is 10:30 p.m. right now. That's fine. I'm going to eat dinner, and then it's time for me to get really, really serious because I would love to finish Incidents Around the House before I go to bed, because it does have me unsettled. I'm hoping for a happy ending, but I'm not gonna be surprised if that does not happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put some Pomodoro timers up and do some like serious sprinting for the next 2 to maybe 3 hours and like really try to get through this book. We have passed the midnight mark, so I am officially in hour 10 of the 24-hour readathon, and I'm on page 243 out of 367, the Incidents Around the House. So it is a final push to the end here. I do think that I can get this book done. Yeah, past midnight, I'm honestly feeling really, really good, really good. Way better than last time I did this. I think I did a good job prepping myself. I haven't pulled any more activities because I'm trying to focus on, I don't want to do an activity, I want to just read, so haven't done that. Yeah, going to knock out this last little section. Oh wow, okay. It is 1:34 a.m. and I have just finished Incidents Around the House. Oh, wow. That was interesting. That was crazy. I did really like it. I think I'm gonna give it like at least 4 stars. The beginning, like the first 150 pages, I really especially loved. Like those were my favorite. Oh my gosh, I'm just like reeling kind of from the last 150 pages. I think the first 150 pages, I was like, oh wow, haha, this is such like a spooky, you know, ghost story. And then by the end, it's like in the middle to the end, it just gets like so emotionally exhausting because like, I mean, this family is like going through hell, literally, like, and there's like tension. I don't know that it was that, it is scary for sure, but I don't think it was like the most like jump scary type of feeling. It was more just like this like deep unsettling feeling and this just like constant tension, and you're just like waiting for the tension to be over, and it's not gonna be over. I mean, well done, Josh Malerman. This is definitely very unique. I think it's like kind of my favorite of this genre that I've read, not horror, but like this kind of horror. And I don't know if I don't even know if I should say what kind it is. Like, I don't know how much people want to know about this or how much it is said about this, but I do think this really worked for me. I think it was a really well done book. I think it was, I mean, I'm obviously having like a emotional reaction to it. I think it was very well done. But you know, the emotions that you come away from this are like not happy, like not pleasant. So that's where I'm at right now. I did read this in one night, which is really crazy. Okay, another one done in my readathon. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy I got to this. I really, really liked this, but also it's like, I don't feel good about it. I don't know. I can't even explain this. Okay, it's 1:30 and that's gonna be where I'm ending it for now. I'm going to go to bed, but I will be back starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. and I'll be reading Bury Your Gaze. So, oh boy. All right, it's time for me to go to bed right now. Good morning. It is 8 a.m. on day 2, and yeah, day 2 is always a little bit rougher, but I got up early so that I could have an hour to drink my coffee and really wake up so that at 9 a.m. I can start reading again. I'm going to check some TBR Harvest Discord chats, kind of have a little scroll through some booktube videos, and then be ready to get back at it. But yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling going into day 2. I would really, really, really like to complete Bury Your Gaze, but I don't know if that's going to be able to happen. We shall see. I'm also going to pull an activity prompt at around probably like 8:50. So we will see what is next for me there. First, I'm gonna drink this whole coffee because I really need it right now. Oh, it's coming right up against start time. I have like minutes to go and I haven't pulled a prompt yet. So let me just do that. Let me just do that really fast. Let's see here. Make a warm drink. Well, that's easy enough. I'm happy I finally got that one. And then let's see how many pages I have to read before I do that. I just had a cup of coffee, so I do have a minute. Oh, read 15 pages. Okay. I think I will make a cup of tea as my warm drink. It's 10 a.m. I am not very far into this, I'll admit. 36 pages into Bury Your Gaze. I've been reading for an hour, and I gotta say, I am so hungry right now. I'm starving, and it's kind of making it difficult for me to focus. But I did make my warm drink, cup of tea. I'm honestly, I'm waiting for it to cool to drink it, and then I will like chug this. Some nice green tea, caffeination. I did want to just like touch on my like immediate first thoughts about Bury Your Gaze. I know I'm not very far into it, but I have a lot, like so many thoughts about this right now because Bury Your Gaze, I was kind of interested because I was like, do people know what that means? Like, have people heard of that? Bury Your Gaze is a terminology that is used in film and television analysis culture, and it basically talks about the idea that when there are queer characters on television, even if they are represented as such, they are very quickly and often tragically, torturously killed off. This has been a trope that's existed in television and film for like forever. This is well known within the industry, and I was like, this is an industry terminology. I don't know how familiar people are with it, but Bury Your Gaze follows a writer who is told by a studio exec that he has to kill off his lead characters because they're gay, essentially. Wow. I always have such like a love-hate relationship with books that take place in LA, in the film and TV industry, because it's my industry. I went to school for screenwriting and media analysis. It is my career, and I have a close relationship with the industry, and sometimes it's like hard to read something. Like, you would think that because I'm, you know, within this industry in whatever capacity that I am currently in, that I would enjoy reading about it, but actually it just kind of like, it makes my heart hurt a little bit, because the state of the industry is not good right now. And it's just a reminder of how far it's fallen, honestly. But that's really what this book is getting at. In the first, pages, we have a writer that is frustrated with the lack of creative control that he has over his own product and the hesitancy that the studio has to be more open and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I love the references, I guess, like, but also we have he calls the studio like Herald Brothers Studios, which is obviously Warner Brothers, and again, something very close to my heart. Just this world, I don't know if I'm a bit too close to it, to the point that like it kind of makes it hard to read. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm continuing on. I have not reached the horror parts yet. I'm interested to see how this book changes as we do get into the horror. I definitely relate a lot to this character being so inspired from such a young age to want to be a screenwriter and that whole process. And I mean, I do feel a kinship with this character. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that makes for a better or worse reading experience in this specific case. Usually connecting and relating to a character would mean, okay, that's amazing. Like, you are going to have the best time with this book. But I think in this case, like, it's too close. Like, my heart hurts. And I don't think that's exactly the design of this book right now. But nonetheless, I will continue on. Considering the pace that I'm reading, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done by 2 p.m., but hopefully the horror and like the action really, really ramps up, because right now it is a lot of talking. But I think once the action starts really getting going, hopefully it'll start moving. But I am starving, so I definitely need to find something to eat. And while I'm here, I'm going to do another pull, just because we are getting close to the end here, but let's see. Pet a cat until it purrs. This is another one of George's entries. So, okay, Zuko, Azula, you want a little pet? Let me see how many pages I have to read before I get to go and cuddle my cats. I have to read 10 pages. Okay, that's very doable. But what I am going to do right now is go and find some food. I got a coffee and a pumpkin muffin. I'm so excited about it. It's finally feeling like pumpkin season out here. It's nearly 11, which means I'm about to hop on some reading sprints. And I did pet my cat for a second. So time to keep pulling some prompts, especially as we go into the next couple hours. I can definitely feel myself slowing down a little bit, but that's okay. It says read 5 pages. Okay, and our prompt is, hope it's about getting caffeine. Open a caffeinated drink. Oh my God, thank God. I did just get a coffee, and like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of making my stomach hurt, so I might need something else, but that is good for me. I have my 3 drinks and a sprinting session. Hello, friends. It is 1 p.m. and I'm halfway through Bury Your Gaze. At this rate, I don't think I'm going to finish it, but I have an hour to speed read as much as I possibly can, and then I'll come back and wrap this up. I wasn't even able to do any more of my activity prompts because my activity prompt was to open a caffeinated drink, and I like don't have one except for a canned coffee, and I've already had 2 coffees. Like, I really don't want coffee. I would really prefer to have like an energy drink or something, but I don't have one, so I guess I could do a Diet Coke. I really don't want a Diet Coke. I'm just going to power through the last hour of this 24-hour readathon. Oh my gosh, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. That's time. 2 p.m. That is it. My timer is out. That was 24 hours, and I did not finish Bury Your Gaze, but I did get very, very far. I got to page 229 out of, I think, 297. Yeah, no, not 295. So I do not have much farther to go. I have 70 pages. And honestly, I'm really proud of myself for that, because this morning I was not thinking that I was going to get that far. And even though I'm not done yet, I feel like I have things I can confidently say about Bury Your Gaze. I guess I'll have a more conclusive review in my wrap up, but I really enjoyed this. I think what everybody's saying is absolutely true. This is so fun. This is like, it's so fun in a weird way. Obviously, it is still horror. There are still spooky moments, but it's different. It is fun. It's campy. It's like an action movie. Like it feels like a movie quite appropriately. It actually, like, it's giving Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, and it rocks. Like, I'm here for it. There's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of social commentary in here, and really this is about the horrors of being a gay kid in a world that is very cruel and just not accepting of that. And that gets a lot of attention in here. It also, of course, talks about the state of the industry of film and TV, which is kind of basically one industry now. Like, they're not two separate things like they used to be. I feel like that commentary is like, it's a little bit, I don't know if I would say surface level, but like, it's not going too deep into all of the causes of that. It's just basically like corporate greed, which, you know, I agree. But yeah, it's fun. It is good. I'm definitely enjoying this right now. I mean, like, unless the ending is really horrible for some reason, I think this is going to be confidently like a 4 stars for me. I really enjoyed reading it this morning, and I'm so glad I did finally pick it up, because it definitely lived up to the hype for me. But like I said, I do have like a lot of personal attachment to the film and TV industry, so that is also like an added element of it for me. Also, like, this cover is like so great. Also, this book is like so meta, and I love that. I love anything that's meta. Yeah, it's great. I will definitely have to pick up Chuck Tingle's other work, Camp Damascus, which I have not read, but I will definitely have to look into other things that he's done. It's also very interesting to me because he's like anonymous. I think that's very interesting. I don't know, like, I really don't know much about him, but learning that he's actually an anonymous author and probably writes under a lot of different pen names. He's also the anonymous author of romance, horror, and fantasy, so like, he's writing under different pen names, so like, who knows? He also, I would guess, based on this book, probably writes screenplays as well, and he works in film and TV, so Chuck Tingle could be out there writing a million different things, and we don't know, because we don't know who he is, unless this is completely wrong, and unless this was just like a joke or something, which it totally could be, but I don't know yet, so I'll have to do some research. Okay, wrapping this up, I think this has been like such a successful 24-hour readathon. Not only did I just like have the best time as I do participating in fun bookish things, but like these books were really amazing. WOODWORM was a really interesting and in-depth emotional novella, literary novella. I would hesitate to call it horror, even though it does take like a little bit of an artistic twist on the haunted house, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely, I will be talking about this one in the future and letting people know about it, because I feel like the word's not out about it, but I really, really enjoyed this. But again, if you're looking for horror, this is not gonna be it, but still really good. I did read this little book, but we're not gonna talk about that one. incidents around the house. Terrifying, and I loved it. Scary and dark, emotional. Yeah, I mean, I think like when I think about these two, because I also give this 4 stars, and I'm like, which one do I like more? I can't really say, because Incidents Around the House was like real, like genuinely like very scary and very like dark and emotional, and like it just goes to a darker place. And this one is obviously more campy, and yes, there are like horror moments, but it's kind of very, I don't want to say lighthearted, because I don't want to make light of the things that he's talking about in here, but it does not have as dark of a tone to it as Incidents Around the House very obviously does. So they're 4 stars, but just very different types of horror books. I was never scared. Like, yeah, there's some unsettling moments in here, but not scary. This one is definitely the kind of like get under your skin kind of scary. So yeah, I did really enjoy this. I'm glad that I was finally able to pick this up. I know some people have had some mixed reactions to it, but it really, really worked for me. I love kid characters. That choice to make this focus on a kid pushed this into just like such a new and interesting realm that I personally haven't really seen done before. I mean, I know that there's like creepy kids and other horror media, but like I just felt like this being inside the kid's head was just like so powerful. So I did really, really enjoy this. This is, I don't know, is Incidents Around the House my favorite that I read from this? I think so. I think I might have to say it is, but I really liked them all. They're so different, and I loved like getting that variety and getting all different like levels of scare. Like this is like real life, real horror, you know. This is like horror movie scary, and this is like campy, like a spooky good time kind of. Again, not wanting to make light of what he's talking about, but you know what I mean. I have had the best time doing this. I think this is like so successful, and I accomplished my goals, which is amazing. I will actually finish Bury Your Gaze tonight. So I will have read 3 brand new 2024 horror releases, and I just like I feel so accomplished. Thank you so much for joining me on this fun, spooky adventure. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, and rest of October. And I will see you back here next time. Thanks so much. Bye.